Book of Heaven, Volume 20, January 4th, 1927. How each new act of divine will brings a new divine life. How one who wants to hear the truth, but does not want to execute it, remains burned. Hardship of the divine will within souls. My poor heart was now moaning, now agonizing because of the pain of the privation of my dear and beloved Jesus. Hours seemed centuries to me, and nights interminable without him. Sleep escapes from my eyes. Could I at least sleep? My intense sorrow would fall asleep. Maybe this would bring me a little relief. But no, instead of sleeping, I become all eyes and open eyes, not closed. Eyes my thoughts, which want to penetrate to see where is the one whom I look for and do not find. Eyes my hearing, to hear, who knows, the soft treading of his steps, the sweet and gentle echo of his voice. My eyes look, who knows, they might see at least the flash of his fleeting coming. Oh, how his privation costs me. Oh, how I long for his return. Now, while I was amid the yearnings of wanting him, my sweet Jesus moved in my interior and made himself seen inside of me, sitting at a little table of light, all occupied and intent on looking at the whole order of what he had manifested about his most holy will. Whether everything was marked, whether anything was missing, and the point he was to reach in order to complete everything that regards his most holy will. Everything which regarded his volition, the words, the knowledges, assumed the image of a ray of light in the hand of Jesus, which he was ordering on that desk of light. And he was so engrossed and occupied that as much as I spoke and called him, he would not pay attention to me. So I kept silent, contenting myself with being near him and with looking at him. Then, after a long silence, he said to me,
"My daughter, when it comes to things which regard my will, heaven and earth remain silent and reverent to be spectators of a new act of this supreme will. Each new act of it brings to all one more divine life, one strength, one happiness, one enrapturing beauty. Therefore, the divine will operating, which issues an act from itself, is the greatest thing that can exist in heaven and on earth. New heavens, more beautiful suns, can come out of one more act of my will. Therefore, when it comes to it, you and I must put everything aside and occupy ourselves only with the eternal fiat. This is not about reordering a human will in you, or just any virtue, but it is about reordering a divine and operating will. Therefore, it takes very much, and this is why, being occupied with things which regard me more, and which will bring the great good of a new act of this supreme will, I do not pay attention to your calls, because when it comes to doing the greatest minor things are put aside."
After this, I was following my passionate Jesus in the Passion, and as I arrived at the point when Herod stormed him with questions and he remained silent, I thought to myself, if Jesus had spoken, maybe he would have converted. And Jesus, moving in my interior, told me,
"My daughter, Herod did not question me in order to know the truth, but out of curiosity and to make a fool of me. And if I had answered, I would have made a fool of him. Because when the will to know the truth and to execute it is missing, the humor in order to receive the heat which the light of my truths brings with itself is missing in the soul. Not finding the humidity in order to make the truths germinate and fecundate, this heat burns even more, and makes the good it can produce wither. It happens as to the sun. When it does not find humidity on the plants, its heat serves to wither and burn the life of the plants. But if it finds humidity, it makes prodigies. So the truth is beautiful, it is lovable, it is the reviver and the fecundator of souls. With its light and heat, it forms prodigies of development, of graces, and of sanctity, but for those who love to know it in order to execute it. On the other hand, with those who do not love to execute it, it is the truth that mocks them, rather than remaining mocked itself."
In addition to this, while I was writing, I felt such exhaustion of strength that I did it with difficulty. Nor did I feel I was being fed the words by Jesus to make it easier for me, or the fullness of the mental light that, like sea, forms in my mind, such that I have to content myself with taking a few drops of light to write them on paper. Otherwise, if I wanted to put everything, I would act like a person who goes into the sea and would want to hold all the water of the sea in his hand. As much as he takes, it all escapes him. But if he takes a few drops, he can manage to carry them with himself. So everything was hardship in me, in the soul, in the body, in everything. Feeling so ill, I thought to myself, maybe it is no longer will of God for me to write, otherwise he would have helped me like the other times. Instead, the hardship, the effort I have to make is so great that I cannot go on. Therefore, if Jesus does not want it, neither do I want it. But while I was thinking this, my sweet Jesus came out from within my interior and told me,
My daughter, one who must possess the kingdom of my will, must not only do it and live in it, but must feel and suffer what my will feels and suffers within souls. What you feel is nothing other than the condition in which it finds itself in creatures. With what difficulty it flows, what efforts does it not have to make in order to subdue creatures, to make them do its will? How repressed they keep it within their own will. They take away from it the best of its life within them, which is its energy, its joy, its strength. And it is forced to act under the pressure of a human will, melancholic, weak, and inconstant. Oh, in what a heavy, bitter, crushing nightmare creatures keep my will. Do you not want, then, to take part in its pains? My daughter, you must be a key, and whatever sound my will wants to produce, you must lend yourself to form the sound it wants to make. And when it has formed in you all the sounds it possesses, sounds of joy, of strength, of goodness, of sorrow, etc., its victory will be complete, having formed its kingdom in you. Therefore, think rather that this is a different and distinct sonata which it wants to play in you. It is one more key that it wants to add in your soul. Because in the kingdom of the supreme fiat, it wants to find all the notes of the musical concert of the celestial fatherland, so that not even music may be missing in its kingdom.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring His kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.